YouTube? It's me all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this is my last interview for this month. I mean, time is flying. I mean, it seems like this year just started. Now, this was the fourth month of the year. Now, tomorrow is going to be the start of the fifth month of the year. The fifth month. Can you believe this? I mean, it's just crazy. But anyway, I got a lovely lady right here in front of me. She is an NPC competitor, and she competes in the figure division. She has a very interesting story about herself. She's also, I recently saw her working with a lady who I become very acquainted with, the lovely Miss Danielle Willis. She calls me the general female embodiment talk, but I'm the emperor, but I take that field demotion because of her. But we like to welcome the lovely Miss Kylie Heffernan. And we'd like to ask her how she got this sport of muscle and masculinity.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. I didn't intend to get into bodybuilding. I was actually training for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. And when COVID started happening, all the gyms started to shut down. I was like, but I need to still work out to continue to be able to train. And one of my buddies, they're like, hey, I have this private gym that's still opened up. All I got to do is put a good word in for you and you can come in. And so I started working out there and everybody there was a bodybuilder. And while I was waiting to get into the sheriff's department, I was like, well, why don't I just start competing? It kind of looks like fun. It seems challenging. I like a challenge. Like, let's do it. And the owner at the time, he was like, well, there's a show in 8 weeks. And that was the Muscle Icon here in Santa Ana. Santa Ana? Yeah, it was Santa Ana. And I was like, okay, like, screw it. Let's do it. See what it's like. See if I even like bodybuilding. Like, it's a lower end show. It's for first timers. And I fell in love with it. Like, it was the most gruesome 8 weeks of my life. But as soon as I got on that stage, I was like, it was worth it. I want to continue going. And as time went on, my muscles just started to keep developing and going on. And I did my first NPC show last year at the Motherlode. It's hosted by Center Podium, one of the funnest shows I've ever been at. And I have my next show, hopefully, to get my pro card at the Junior Nationals.
Okay, and the Junior Nationals, that's in Charleston here in South Carolina. That's right. That's where I'm in North Carolina. Charleston's a good way from where I stay at. It's a good distance. And it's one of the shows is, as you know, is a national qualifier. There's also several others, such as the Nationals, there's USA's, also there's the North Americans, and there's Gary Uta has some shows. And you were studying to be 5'0". that was. Are you still interested in being in the police force, or you just have moved on from that?
I still have a heart to want to get into it if the opportunity comes, but when I got denied on my last one, I was like getting ready for my second show. And I was like, you know what? Bodybuilding is kind of taking off. It's been fun. It's a nice challenge for me. Kind of keeps my brain occupied while I'm still staying fit. I'm still young. So if I want to get back into it later on, maybe when things are a little bit better, possibly. But as of right now, it's on hold and I'm going to continue with bodybuilding.
And saying that you're young, what year were you born?
I was born in 96.
96. Yeah, I got out of high school then. I got my second job. And you was, while I was working, you were still, sucking on bottles, and like my man Jerome said, your tongue was wet with baby milk, and your ears were wet behind your ears, and your breath smelled like Similac. Yeah. So anyway, it's just, what do you like about this sport? Because a lot of people, this is a tough sport. It's not a lucrative sport where you make a lot of money out of it. Not a lot of recognition, especially as an amateur, because it's a lot to this sport that a lot of people don't understand. And what's your thoughts and your feelings are, what you're so passionate about it?
The thing I like most about it is the challenge through it. So it's not just something where, going to the gym in general is challenging, but to be able to keep on a diet and to be able to cut and to continue to hold everything of your muscle, your weight, your whatever to get onto that stage. And when you're having like those mad cravings and you just want to give up, you just keep pushing through, like, you know what, this will pass, like just one more second. And then as soon as you step on stage, you're like, I did it. Whether you win or you lose, it's like you finished this. And it's that accomplishment alone, because it's not something that it's a participation trophy where someone just like, cool, thanks for showing up today. It's like, no, you finished to the very end, no matter how gruesome it was, no matter what came up, you got there. And nobody could give it to you. It was just all you. And then, of course, I mean, it feels good to show off your muscles and everything you worked for. So it's another little plus.
Well, as guys, as fans of sport bodybuilding, I really admire y'all ladies, what you're going through. And also, as I said again, I'm a muscle person. I just something about the beauty of women with muscles. It's just something, like I said, when I got into it, this is way before you're born. I probably I'm probably older than your father, so and I've been a fan since almost 40 years. I got into it when I was about 8 or 9, because my brother used to play football right in our hometown and used to get the muscle mags. Yeah, it's a story that everybody who follows my channel knows it. But I used to like, I grew up with the era of like when Arnold Schwarzenegger was transitioned from bodybuilding into movies. Lee Haney, who was I think he was 7-time Mr. Olympia. You had people like Dorian Yates coming up. You had the legend himself, Ronnie Coleman. Then, like I said, when I got into my early on, like I've been a fan of female bodybuilders, because by the time I was really getting into this stuff, the women were something different for me, my mindset. I mean, just seeing these women taking their bodies and changing it, transforming it, what stereotypical world people like to think of femininity as soft and and figurey, but these ladies are coming hard and shredded, and it's just something different. And as a teenager, it excited me. I mean, it's just, and then I got older and just still follow sport. Then I started doing interviews and commentaries and talking to these ladies, and it's a joy for me to get to know y'all, and because a lot of people don't understand that this is a lot of sacrifice you got to make. Like I said, I remember I was talking to one lady, she has to get like 2 or 3 loans just to pay for her coaching, her traveling, and this and that. And that was as an amateur. And you got to think about when you get to pro level, because you know what? Unless you get sponsorship, it's a lot tougher. Now you're in a division where figure is a little bit more, it's
Well,
a little bit.
I've actually bumped up. I'm now in physique.
Oh, so you step up with the big dogs now.
Yeah, that's why I started seeing Danielle. She started to become part of the posing team that my coach is a part of. And because she does women's physique and bodybuilding, they're like, hey, Kylie, go start training with Danielle and have her help you with your posing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that is really cool, lady. Because a while back we did an interview some time ago, and that was when after her debut at the Olympia, she's taking some time off because she feels like she really needs to grow. I mean, she's a beautiful woman too, and this is the other guy that's come out. He says she is beautiful.
yeah, she is beautiful, and she's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah,
So
she's really, she loves Michael Jackson. We had a debate about who's better. I'm like, I told her the next time you want to come on, we have a debate. I'm gonna be Prince. I'm gonna be like the Prince. I'm gonna be representing Prince. She represent Michael Jackson. We're gonna have a debate about that. So we got somebody that came through here. My man Rolando G coming in tonight. Thank you, brother, coming through. He says, "Hey George, hey George, hey Kylie, hey Kylie. Kylie, you look great. Very new to you being a fan of ladies since 93. Yeah, okay. And we're gonna go in here social media real quick because I gotta post it up. We're gonna look at some pictures and stuff, and and she can talk about explaining what she's showing here. So we got up here, and this is the show you're talking about. Is that the show where you wearing the hat right here that you
yes,
competed in?
that was the mother load.
Yeah, it's really cute. I saw that when I was researching, like get the little hat on. It was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that was last year. And
No, that's the one coming up.
Oh, coming up. Oh, okay. And we have some pictures here, her training here, and she's working the back. Look at the back. Oh wow. Which is you think which did you think is your most difficult body part to work with? Which one do you think is your best body part?
Uh I love my back. I think the most difficult is probably my back can blow up, but it's hard to get it activated.
Hmm. Yeah, I think what is from I know from some shows, some ladies say that sometimes it's the back can make and break how you look. I mean, sometimes you know I've known some ladies who have great everything else in the front looks good, but they turn around, then something like the glutes might have been a little soft or not enough definition and condition in the back, and they have lost shows because of like particular body part. Here's
Yeah.
just she doing her little posing routine, doing and she's thick as a motherfucker, man. Yeah, she's still developing, growing, and you like I said, you feel like you were more for physique than for the figure because you're getting tired of the clear heels.
Oh, so tired. I am not a heels girl. And for me to walk on the stage with those, I am so nervous. I'm like Bambi. I was so happy to be able to get out of those things.
Yeah, and here's you when you were younger, you got the blue hair, and who's that beside you?
It's an old friend. So that was actually, I am getting 10 years of sobriety this year. And that was like 5 days before I got sober.
Oh, and here you also. This is like you were doing some missionary work.
Yes, Uganda.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You're going around traveling around, and this is your husband right here, right?
Yes.
And what's his name?
His name's Michael.
All right, Mike, he's got together, simple. This is what people like to do, simple. You don't need the 33,000 million people, and just family, friends, whatever, so when they want everything. Who's the woman marrying y'all?
That is my great aunt. So it was at
Uh,
a family reunion, and we're like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna be there anyways. We don't need to rent out like a venue. Like we're already there. Let's just have a low-key wedding. I don't care if you're in your pajamas, your swimsuit, what you're in, just show up.
yeah, and which show with this one here?
That is the Muscle Icon. So my very first show.
Yeah, you were like I said, and there's the show we mentioned showed earlier. The what was the name? And yeah. And, you look, she do some. These are little model pictures. Yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
looks serious.
shoot after.
Yeah, that's good. That's one thing is a lot of ladies do the photo shoots. It helps them. And also we have some pictures here that we saw earlier, and this is with you. I'll post it here. It's coming up in a minute with Danielle here, and and Danielle. Wow, she's always looking good. But this is focused about you, so we're not focusing much on Danielle. But she's really working with your posing. She's you think she's a good coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, she's a really good coach.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's a good person. I think she's doing good work. And right now, she's doing stuff outside of competing. She did a live stream where they had the talk about the Vancouver Pro last weekend. And I told her, hey, you need to do more stuff like live stream. Like the bodybuilding need women like yourself who are the ones on the stage who's competing and who are representing themselves. Because, like I said, there's not enough representation for women in the sport of bodybuilding, especially in the high levels. We got here, my dear lady, Miss Quay Quay. Here you go. What's going on? Hey, Quay Quay. Yeah, Quay Quay and me, we go way back, like pacifiers and horseshoes. And also, she says, "Wow, Kylie, your back looks great, and your overall physique is loving you in the green." That's a man from Rollo G. And also, Quay says, "I don't see any issues with anything nice." And that's great. Appreciate you, Quay, coming through. And also, hello, Quay. He's saying wishes, and it's also he's saying, Quay to pleased to meet you. Blah blah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, here's the tough about the sport. As you said again, the thing about eating the food. I mean, there are days where you're like, that's like me. Like I said, it's something about me. I was, like I said, I've been a big dude for most of my life. I got a lot more weight after, I lost, I was, couldn't work much anymore. And I started taking care of my mom and dealing with her stuff. It's just, eating sometimes just as comfort. But then after she passed, I said, you know what? I gotta take care of myself, and that's the tough part. This, every now and then, because I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I just eat, try to eat a little smarter. But then there's those days where, like one week, I was like, I work out Planet Fitness, and I was leaving. And I said, I'm hungry. I either got a choice: go straight home and just eat what's there at the house, or it's my drug, and it calls me, man. Be calling me, man. Be calling my name. It's Chinese food. It's the buffet place down the road. I mean, and it's like $10.99 plus. I get the water. I get the water. And some lemon. But it's just so, and that's the hard part about that, right?
Yeah. Especially when those cravings start kicking in. I mean, luckily, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but as I get closer and closer to show, those donuts start looking good, and pizza sounds good, and tacos sound good. And you're over here eating tilapia.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose the picture. You have your phone on Wi-Fi, because I think I'm, because you're going, you kind of like, see you. Hello, Ichi. Seem like you're kind of going out a bit.
How's that?
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're trying to work with this as best we can. Technology is a pain sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't eat fish like that. I don't, I hadn't eaten fish in a long time. It's just not my, I don't know. I want to eat taco. I'll eat chicken. I don't eat much pork like I used to, or and try to eat a little more beef, and mostly chicken and stuff like that. And just, or I like shrimp. If like I'm like a Bubba from Forrest Gump. Like, I like shrimp and shrimp and this and shrimp and try to take the shrimp and chicken free shrimp and so many things you do with shrimp. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate tilapia, but it's one of those things where if I gotta eat it, I gotta eat it.
Yeah, that's the hard part about that. You have to, when you're on a diet, you got to be consistent. That's the thing that people got to remember about the sport. It's about consistency. You have to, it's not as easy. Like, one thing about people look at bodybuilders is that, okay, it's also about steroids, this or that or that or that. Steroids is only like one of the factors of it. Wherever your muscle has, because it helps you build and recover. And if you think about it, a lot of people in mainstream sports use muscle enhancers and whatever else to build their muscles. But like I said, one thing is, it's about following the diet, training, working out. Some people, if bodybuilding was the easy sport to do, everybody would be doing it. And I would say, it was more money to it, a lot more people would do it.
I will say that is probably one of the bigger downfalls of the sport, is how much you get back from it. Because the gym I go to, it is a lot of power lifters and bodybuilders. And I've been to powerlifting shows where they're like amateur level, and the amount that power lifters get back from what they've put in is so much greater than bodybuilding. And so I can see why a lot of people are leaving bodybuilding to go to powerlifting, because you're putting in all this work and you're wanting that win, and you're putting like thousands of dollars into it, and you get maybe like $2,000 back. And powerlifting, I mean, I've been at like an amateur show and the winner got like $10,000. And so the give back is completely different from one sport to the other.
Yeah. Man here, Rolando G says, yeah, oh, cool. I live in expensive San Francisco, California, looking to be like my man here, George. I want to interview some of these ladies in BB, being a fan since the early 90s. Also, and the big question is, Quay, like I asked, why does eating clean cost so much? Because the fact is, most of those foods are, basically high quality prices. Like, okay, if you like, this is one thing happened, because when I started eating a little bit of healthier here in Australia, North Carolina, doing the coronavirus, I don't call it the other name, I call it C-19 or whatever, it was a corona, and we were getting assistance with extra food stamps. So I was able to afford to eat clean. But then now, just last month, they dropped those emergency food stamps, and I just get what I can get, and and you have to really stretch a dollar, and that's the thing is you have to eat clean. That's the problem is you can't eat too much things. Like right now, I'm planning on doing something that a friend of mine told me to get advice to do. I'm planning on just taking a week and not doing no sugars, cutting out breads, pastas, rice, all types of artificial sugars, and try to eat, maybe try to help me because, like I say, I've been losing weight. I kind of had a little setback, but I think I want to find a way where I can really kind of just, reach my peak. And I figure like that's something I want to try to do. Also, my man Rondo saying, sounds like Kylie is fading out with her frequency. Oh yeah, it could be the possible too, because sometimes you have to have a strong frequency. Sometimes you good Wi-Fi when you do interviews. But she's getting a little better now. It was getting in and out for a good minute. And quick laughing, say, and it also says, "I love my shrimp too." She's from Texas. Them Texas women, yeehaw. And also, man, Rolando says, "I love tilapia fish. My mom says it's healthy." Well, some people say it's not that healthy. When I hear about tilapia, it's like I think somebody told me like they farm it and they farm it too much. That's the one thing about it.
They're bottom feeders.
Yeah, like catfish,
like cockroaches. Yeah, that's To me, they taste like dirt. No matter how much I season it, I still taste dirt.
Yeah, you could like say, like you can, my mom when she was alive, she can cook something, and it could be the worst thing you think it is, and then she put spices, put it out, boom, boom, boom. Oh my God! My brother when he was alive used to he get off work before I did. He'd be sitting at the table. My mom, he'd be working his jaws, and that's the thing about. But your family, how do they feel about when you decided to jump over to a sport? Especially I know, especially your parents be like, saying like, "Oh, sweet, you're already married now." But then, if it wasn't, you weren't married before, then you say like, "Oh, sweetheart, I wouldn't want you to be so masculine and manly, and you can't get a man, and and you have to be walking around. You can't wear clothes like like a woman."
No, my family was actually very supportive with it. My dad, he is a big sports fan. He used to work for the LA Times on the sports section. So for him, he thinks like this is like the most badass, cool thing ever. He's actually going with me to the show to help me fly because I'm not a good flyer, and on prep, that's not going to be fun. So I have my dad going with, and he's one of my biggest supporters. My mom, she goes to the ones that she can, and for the most part, everyone's a big supporter. They never were like, "Oh, you're going to be like too manly. You're going to be this." I've always been very tomboyish, so it was never "Oh, you can't wear a dress anymore and be all pretty." I don't really do that anyways, so.
I grew up knowing that tall girls usually the ones grow up to be the prettiest girls, and you are a pretty girl. I'm gonna say that. I remember, sometimes the tall girls would want to fight, and then especially the ones who start really developing, really early, and they want to fight, and then like say, and we guys we fight you, we be filling you up because you going hard, you want to fight, but we just want to grab a boob and a booty, and and just hey, we're boys, we just want to get a tickle out of pickle. We got here, from my man, Walando G saying, "What is sad? Some female bodybuilders do abuse it. That's the sad part about it. Yes, almost anything could be abused. Like I said, you were, substance abuses. It could be anything like, anything could be, something starts off in good can be abused. Food, drugs, money, sex. It's just that's how it is sometimes. It's just some people have different natures. And I know how long you been sober?
Coming up on 10 years.
And that's good. I mean, I have family members who are either, been on drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. Some hadn't really broke their habits. Some have eventually have kind of maybe moderate a little bit, but still, it's just a difficult thing to do. Also, my man Rolando G says, what's everybody say? He says, "I'm not a fish person. I'll cook it for everyone, and I can't eat it all." That's for my sister Quick Cree. She said also, wow. He says also, yeah, I don't eat a lot of bread. I've been doing intermittent fasting and had no idea I was doing it. Oh, that's pretty cool, Craig. And she also says, they ain't healthy fish at all. And that's about the tilapia. Now, your husband, Mike, is he one of your biggest supporters? Just because, because
Oh,
it's a good thing when you have this man who loves you and he stands by you. And you're like, and I know he be wondering, like, sometimes you get in the bed when you're like, honey, especially you're prepping, honey, are you all right? No, not all right. No, all right. I'm hungry. And does he work out with you? And he's he train with you?
so he is one of my biggest supporters. He absolutely loves that I do this. He used to work out with me back in November. He actually had a stroke,
Oh,
and
sorry.
he hasn't been the same since. He does what he can, but it's very hard for him to be able to go like work out. Especially he had gotten COVID, and then the stroke happened. So there's just a lot that went on within his body, and it's very hard for him to go to work out.
Yeah, I know. I can feel you on that because my mother, this happened about almost 10 years ago. She had her first seizure. She had at least four seizures. She had a stroke. She was bedridden. She couldn't do much. I had an older sister. She was the youngest of my three sisters, but but I call her my big little sister, and her name was Mary, and she had a stroke, and it's been like 6 years since she passed away. She was doing fine for stroke. She couldn't even, because they had to put one of those trachs in her so she was able to talk, and she was doing well. But then it was like 2017 when she passed away, I loved her. I miss her. And I can understand because myself, I tell you this, I was on my job and I thought I was sick because I used to work at I used to work at I used to work in a meat packing company. I work in the cold division. I thought I was getting a cold. So I just go to my other sister. She lives like, about 30, 40 miles away, because it'd be a long way just to go to my home, because I live like almost a good 60, 70 miles away from the job. And I said, I'll just go to my other sister's house and, just say, she told me, let's go to the emergency room. I went to urgent care. They told me, Mr. McCarthy, something wrong in your blood. And then found out I had a heart attack. Was in the cardiac unit for about a week at the Capefield Valley, one of the biggest hospitals in North Carolina. And then I was seeing a specialist. And then after that, I had to get a pacemaker. But I've been doing pretty good the past almost 10 years. But like I said, I can understand, sometimes the struggles of what you do, especially take care of somebody and everything. I mean, I took care. My mom was my woman, and I took care of her for a long time. And she got the virus, and she was already sick, and it was boom, and that was it. And it kind of broke my heart. But you know what? She taught us and raised us kids to do what we need to do and try to survive. And I always appreciate about that. This is from girl Quay Quay. She says, yeah, they feed them poop. Unfortunately, yeah, it's nasty. And also, my man Rolando G says, Kylie, Young Guns, would you train males in the sport? Are you working with people? Or are you, like I said, like I know a lot of competitors, especially in amateur divisions and in the pro levels, they're also coaching trainers. What's your, other than just you were training to be a cop, or are you having other occupations or any interests?
So I am a nutrition coach. That is kind of one of my main things. I do training a little bit here and there. So far, it's mainly just like for friends and my coworkers. But I don't train for competitors. I feel like I should have more experience in the sport because I've only been in it for 2 years now. And so I feel like, the respectful thing to do is to gain some more knowledge and a little bit more enrichedness of the sport before actually giving back into it to create competitors out of it. So I just mainly do kind of like lifestyle coaching, little things like that. My main occupation, though, is I'm actually a barber.
No, so you cut hair. So me as all these just good, fresh, clean cut. I think I'll probably get one maybe next month. I have one. I get one every quarterly. I don't. My hair doesn't grow like that. I mean, we used to pick on we used to pick on each other. Say yeah, like say, hey, your mama had hair like steel. Your daddy had hair like wool. You got steel wool. And I said we have the same mom and daddy, so you have the same steel wool hair. This is for our girl Quay Quay. She says, congratulations on your sobriety. Thank you, Quay Quay. Also, she says, to the both of your families, she wants to say, says, it's awesome that you have your partner in your life and your support. And also, my man, Ronald G says, wow, Kylie, I hope your husband can recover sincerely, and we hope he does. And and also Quay says this, said I was a tomboy as well. I played basketball. I know that, Quay, and plus Quay's like, all right, Quay, you be one of those girls that you be wanting to fight, and we just want to tussle with you and play with you. That's all we want to do. So now, this is something about this sport that there's a side to it, especially for women, that the fact of femininity has always been a debate in bodybuilding, especially with the divisions. Most definitely people like divisions like, you were in figure, which is kind of I'll call it a transition division for a lot of competitors who are like, okay, now you have a new division, wellness. And I see a lot of girls who were at one point, figure and physique competitors who jumped over that division. Or you have a lot of women who start out in bikini who come up, but then because their body started to develop, they started getting those, those striations, those muscle bellies, they have to move up. Now, as a competitor, you feel like there started to be a blur lines between the divisions, because I know some ladies who compete in bikini will compete in wellness, some women will compete in bikini will compete in figure, some figure compete in physique. Do you ever had double dip yourself as a competitor?
My second show, I had double dipped to see if I wanted to do wellness or figure. And it all came down to just how my body was developing. Because I started off my very first show just as in wellness, just because I do have a bigger bottom half. And we figured, oh, that'll probably be perfect as a nice starter, see where you're at. I didn't want to do bikini. Don't get me wrong. I know those girls still put in a lot of work, but it's not enough muscle for me. So I wanted at least to have some muscularity to me. And then as it kept going, my back just started to blow up. And I think it just goes back to how I grew up. I was doing water polo and competitive swim. So I just naturally had the broader back and everything just started to go. And I was like, you know what? We're doing figure. And after the last show, it was kind of one of those things where I kind of outgrew figure. And my coach was like, girl, you're getting big. I think you need to go physique. Like, you have the body for it. Just do it. If not, you're going to have to back up on your weights and your workout. I'm like, well, who wants to do that? Like, more muscle. Keep going.
Yeah, because like I say, it's about when you hit that level. Because this is the thing about it. They want to, it's one thing with the men's divisions. They say, guys, you can get bigger and bigger as much as you can. But women, they want you to stay, like, especially, I did an interview with a couple ladies who's bikini competitors, and they said they feel comfortable where they're at. They train hard, but they don't train as hard. They want to still hold a level of femininity. And, as truthfully, wellness and bikini are the tits and ass divisions, those divisions where they get more sponsors, more attention, because they fit, like, think about it. You got chicks with huge guns, got chicks with a fat ass, that's what guys like, But the other divisions, they feel like it's too masculine. It's too muscle. But it's like this: you're athletes, and you train, you work out, you develop, and you grow. It's something that's unavoidable. I know you're telling you, hey, stop where you're at, and you can do that. And the thing about with wellness, some women do pretty better because they have certain basically, in short of it, how a friend told me, they have those Afro aesthetics. They have, like, black women, Quay knows that most definitely. You have thicker hips, thicker thighs. It works for them. Some women have to do stuff like shoot up, like some kind of oil, stuff like to give their butts a little more fullity. A lot of bikini girls, you rarely see a bikini girl that's not, doesn't have a D cup or something. And also in other divisions, how they have to try to maintain, like me personally. If you get breast implants, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But the fact is, I don't think that kind of takes away, because some women I see go overdo it, and it does take away from your physique. I like pure, beautiful pecs. I was one girl I was following. She's from Brazil. She just made her Olympia debut. Great physique, has potential. She's like your age. She's in her mid-20s. And she went and got breast implants. I said, you know what? She's an attractive woman, but I feel like it takes away from her looks. And that's the thing about it. Do you feel as a competitor that it should be more important being an athlete, but also just as important to have your femininity?
I think a nice little mixture of both is good. I mean, to be honest, there's really nothing wrong if you are comfortable with being bigger and kind of looking more masculine. I mean, especially women at our level, we do take supplements that do start creating more masculinity features and sounds and whatnot. So I think it comes down to just a personal preference. If you're okay with that and you don't mind it, that's fine. If you can keep your femininity while doing it, I mean, kudos to you. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you can't really have it both ways. You can't get that really big muscle and expect to keep looking like bikini. So, you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it comes down to personal.
Yeah, you try to be, you try to work that fine line where, okay, I want to develop and grow, but yet I still want, have that feminine look to it. Here we have my man, shout out to my man, Ronald G. Thank you, brother. Says George Page condolence. I know your mother was awesome lady, raised a good son. Thank you. She did. She raised good children. Someone's not as perfect. Quaker says, I fought a lot. Yeah, and Quaker, they didn't just fight you. We want to fight. They just want to feel up on you. Also, my man Rolando says, when I saw the lovely ladies for the first time, I always knew they were women just shredded and looking way beyond the normal average woman, and just made just that just made like women like you, Kylie, and overall for your bodybuilder. And Quigley says, yep. But this is the thing also. People are out here who feel like, okay, they just have comments. You got trolls and paper tigers behind the keyboard talking about this Kylie chick. She like a damn man. She try to be a dude. It's usually guys with moves like me with not ounce of muscles, who was saying
I wish
that.
that they had it.
Yeah, I wish they had it. Actually, I got a little muscle, just under a lot of stuff here. I used to when I was in high school, I used to be one of the strongest guy on my football team. I was lifting, I was bench pressing about 400 pounds, or squatting almost 600. I remember one time, one guy said, "Damn, George, you strong?" Because I'm a country boy. Go out the country, we work out in the fields like that. And he asked me, said, "George, you ever had some?" I said, "Why me had some?" He said, "Yeah." So I said, "No." I said, "Then son, you cock strong. That's why you strong." And and it's funny about this. People who just don't understand what it takes to get in this sport and the work you got to put into it, sacrifice, consistency. They just don't understand. And then you have the other end where guys like me who are fans, you ladies, there's a guys who are a little bit extreme. They're guys who like one thing, like I say this also, like this, folks, if you want to follow Kylie, her social media stuff in the description, check her out, respond to her. But here's what you should not do. And I keep telling to you guys, no D pics. Stop it.
Please.
She's a married woman, and I know she's cute, but still, not come on, women. And this thing is, guys will do that. You see guys talking shit about these ladies on IG and social media on Facebook, and then turn around and DM me say, "Hey, I think you're cute." And then send the, and I mean, and most people don't like that. I mean, I was doing we were doing like a little discussion a while back. This guy, he's a 212 competitor, and he was married to a lady who was a figure competitor. And he talked about one time especially I think the male bodybuilders get a lot more than I think because there's a lot of gay attachment to men's bodybuilding. And he said he'll get dick pics and then he'll just send pictures of himself back to them. But I know one lady, what she did was sometimes she'll take it, she'll save them into a little file and then she'll send the guy and say, if you want this, you can have this. But it's just a lot of tough, dealing with people. And I know, with your job, you're in a being a wellness trainer, and people are comfortable with you, but then you have the people who are not so comfortable with you.
Yes.
Yeah. We got here my man Rolando G saying, I like thicker, muscled ladies for the real hate to mention her, but man, Alicia Young and George favorite Andrea Shaw. Yes, I love Andrea Shaw. She's so beautiful. Who other than Danielle? Who I know you married Danielle. Who else you in the sport you follow? You say like, wow, this is somebody who really inspires me.
I like I don't know her last name, but Sarah. She was for Miss Olympia.
Yeah, Sarah Vilgas.
She was the main reason I was like, I think I can do women's physique because she's still very feminine looking. She's not like overly done. Her face is still pretty good. It wasn't like super manly chiseled, and she wasn't huge. That was what was scary to me. And I was like, you know what? She still looks really, really good. I think I can do this. Another one is Yarishna. She's a wellness competitor.
Oh.
Who's the other one? There's one that I follow. Her name's Autumn. She's a figure competitor.
Oh, Aldous Watson.
I believe
Or
so.
it's Alden Cleveland. It's two
Cleveland.
Autumns. Cleveland. Okay, yeah, because there's the Autumn Swanson and there's an Autumn Cleveland. I think the Autumn Cleveland, she just competed at Olympia just last year in figure. Yeah, so now, like I said, I do content. Like I said, I've been like ever since I started. I was mostly just doing stuff on women's bodybuilding because I thought physique was. I just call it watered down women's bodybuilding. But I've done interviews related in physique. I've done interviews related in figure. I'm really expanding my. I even had an interview a guy. He's a friend of mine. His name is Sean. He's also on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel called Bodybuilders for Dummy. I'll send you a copy of his link. You might want to check it out. He's a great guy. He's got a job right now. He can't compete this year. I got through him through a lady local friend with Jada Beverly, and I really from these friendships I gather with these people, these ladies, these men, these women, I really learned stuff. I mean, stuff that most people don't really know. And I mean, talking about, I'm a big Andrea Shaw fan. I think also I like Alicia Young. I mean, Alicia. I mean, she's, But it's I really learned some stuff with the people I've met, and they tell me things like I have this guy here. I have multiple personalities, and one of my personalities is I am Jon Snow, commander of the Wall. The bastard Winterfell, and often I have my little crows or my birdies, ravens, my little ravens and my birdies send me information because I learned things that most people don't know. And they say, George, I tell you this, so you don't tell me. I said, I'll keep your confidence. I'll say your name, but whatever information you let me know, I appreciate that. This is for my man, Ronald G's. I don't care how you ladies sound when you are on it. It's still like the big gals. He said, yeah, I know you're like, it's like, I think there's some women who I've, who have met who have beautiful voices. I mean, I like those women who have those sexy smoky voices, like, Demi Moore or Kathleen Turner or, some women do sound like they might be Vin Diesel. I'm a big, I like Vin Diesel, Fast and the Furious. Watch this movie called Knock Around Guy who says 500 fights. So like you might get a woman say, she comes back to the door and say 500, George. 500 times I took a man. I say, okay. But as a competitor, you understand it is expensive to be a bodybuilder, especially, the posing suits, the, hair, makeup. Back in the day when I was watching bodybuilding, ladies got makeup nice and well, but the posing suits was too basic. Just basic bikinis with nice, kind of like, plastic pleather looking, but times have changed. I mean, like, it just, I know there's times where, I got a choice between paying the rent or getting this new sparkly suit.
Oh yeah. If it wasn't for a lot of my clients and family and friends helping support and donating, my entire last show was supported by donations. So I know if it wasn't for the people that have done that for me, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I've got a lot of donations for this last show. And since I'm the only one with an income at the moment and my husband's been out, it's been super helpful and grateful that I have people to be able to support me like that. So it does get expensive. I mean, my suit alone, it's a great suit, but it was about $1,000. So yeah, the suit alone, but they make a world of difference. How you pop on stage, how it's made, how it curves with you, how it flows with you, it makes all the difference. So when you're putting that much into it, little things like that, it counts a lot. So it makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because you ladies look great in those suits. I mean, like I said, it's just, and you come out there, you're on the stage, you're shredded, you got the Lord's Ocean on. I remember, just a true story. I used to, when I got into it, I used to have a computer, and and I used to be on these chat rooms, and it was like one dedicated to like a fan chat room for guys who was in the bodybuilding. One guy, he came on, he used to come on by so often. He used to be working sales, and so now he travels, he goes to the shows, he goes, because usually when he had to go for a trip, he always try to say, well, let me see what shows coming. Okay, it works for me. That works perfectly for my schedule. I can stop and watch the show. He told me a story how he told us the story how he said like he was at a show, and he was just watching. He was enjoying the show. Then he started hearing this commotion in the back. He said, "What's that going on?" He said, "What's going on?" They said, "No, it's the security guys dragging this guy from back in the auditorium. His pants around his legs." and you're dragging him out, and and it's like what? And he's just like he's a couple of seats down from one of the trains, and one lady said, "Well, that guy he posted that guy barred from the auditorium," but yes, it's just like he told like this, he said like this, like when your ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard, and it's just the look, and we just it's like presenting like a work of art, and some people may not like it, but like I said, I'm a fan of it. Oh, we go to get a shout out to my sister Quay. She has to leave. It said, amazing interview, all the way as yours, Paige. Good night, everyone. Good night, Quay. Thank you for coming through. And I, great Quay. She talks about, we used to talk about boxing and stuff like that. She's a great fan. She's, she knows a guy that knows Ronnie Coleman. So I'm saying, hey, Quay, I know she's probably already gone, but hey, I want to talk to that guy. I want to talk to him because he worked with Ronnie Coleman. So, but as a competitor, and especially as a woman, what you feel changes need to be done in sport? What you feel you like to see change?
I mean, to be honest, at the level I'm at, I don't know too much from behind the scenes that I would know to be changed. I feel like as competitors in general, I feel like shows should be able to give back more to the competitors because we're putting so much into the show to make it happen. I mean, a show alone at an amateur level, I mean, it's about 200 to 300 to register for a show, and then you got your tanning, your makeup if you choose to do it, your hair if you choose to do it, then your hotel fees if you have to travel, and it's done at a really great auditorium of some kind or some sort of stage presence, but there's nothing that you really feel like you get out of it. Like, woohoo, I got a protein bar. Sweet, thanks. You gave me $20 out of the $2,000 I spent into this show. So, like little things like that where I feel like not necessarily cash flow, but at least a little more turn back in general, especially even like at an amateur level. Because, even though we're amateurs, we still put a lot into this sport. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know some people say that sometimes they give, especially if you win the overall, they give you your entry fee money back, and that's one thing. Yeah, you get entry fees you got to pay when you come as amateur. Sometimes you want to do, okay, I got $300-$600. I want to do physique. I want to do figure, see how I do, because you just, like I said, you want to take opportunity. You don't want to miss opportunity. I know somebody say, okay, I ain't placing this show in this division, but I place in that division better. I mean, that could be the division that could get me my pro card, or and it's just tough about this. And what I think personally, as a person who's been an inside outer, someone from the outside looking in, most definitely, I think IFB and NPC should give more benefits to their competitors. I mean, here's the thing like this: we don't come to see the promoters, the judges, the announcers. We come to see you people. Come see y'all. I would say, as athlete, like any athlete, like you look at the major sports, I got a friend. He used to be, he just retired a couple years ago. He was a bodybuilder, but about 20 years ago, he used to play in professional football. He did that for 6 or 7 years. He retired. He still gets a pension from the NFL because he gets a good chunk of good change for those years he played in the league. And I think when you get your pro card, you should get some kind of benefits. Something like, okay, most definitely got paid $2-3 a year for that card. I think you should get like, okay, if I want to get my blood work there, I have health insurance, I have life insurance. There's things that would help me save a little money out of pocket, because you know what, and also the prize money. If you look at especially when you look at the shows for the pro levels, for the men, they always get the big money because they're always like this. I keep saying this is true for it. The man is like, it's like the pimping, like being a cop, about the pimping and prostitution thing. That the pimp is he's the big boss, and the one that brings in the money is the main division. They're the bottom bitch. They're the ones that bring in the money. Yeah. So and it's harder for these women because like I said, you put in $2,000, and then you're more like, this is remember the movie The Incredibles? It's probably, I know you're still like little girl when that came out. And there's a part in the movie where Bob is talking to his boss and says, it's your job to keep us in the black. Even when there's one episode where there's one part where there was a lady who had insurance and something happened, and that insurance was supposed to kick in and pay for whatever happened. But there was like not giving her money? Hey, what's the point of me putting this in and I'm not getting something out of it?
Right. I will say, Center Podium, when we were doing their shows last year, their overall winners, they were actually going to give them their flight and their registration all taken care of and their hotel fees for you to go get your pro card. So I will say, kudos to them, because that's actually one show where it felt like cool. They made it fun and entertaining. It didn't really seem more for them in their pocket, but they're also giving back what we put into it. So I do give a shout out to the Center Podium. They did a really great job last year. I don't know what they're doing this year. I haven't been really keeping up with them and what they're doing with their shows, but they did make it worth the while a bit.
And that's good that there's people out there. Like I was talking with a lady who I'm cool with. She was telling me how she did the show over this last Sunday. It was the Vancouver Island show. And the guy who promoted that show, he said he did a great job. It was really just all the ladies. It was no banana hammocks and board shorts. It was purely ladies with like 3 divisions. It was women's bodybuilding, physique, and wellness. And they said the ladies got a lot of respect. They got it taken care of. And that's the thing is, that's the job, to take care of your athletes. Like one thing is like, mostly is, when you're shredding down, you're denying your body of water, fluids, and everything, and you're near at death's door. A lot of people don't think about that because bodybuilders. I've seen, I did an interview with a lady named Jennifer Sater. She competed back in the Olympia back around 2006, and she fainted on stage. And it's actually there's a guy. There's a video of it. I sent you later. You can check it out. And I remember seeing, it happens quite often. Ronnie Coleman even sometimes was sitting off the side with an oxygen mask on. You're risking your health because you know what? It's just you bring a presentation, but at the same time, you're taking your life in your hands. We just last year had not last year, but a couple years ago we had a bunch of back-to-back deaths. What happened to Sean Roten, Sherry Millen, Jennifer Hernandez, Alina Havani. I mean, and it's just people don't understand that it's even though it's a sport about workout, but there's also some unhealthy aspects to it. And I know I was talking to one lady, whenever she's also amateur, she told me that one thing is like that tanning thing, like you can't, like your backstage is like funky cum Medina, so and she said what she did was she took in fabric softeners and rubbed it on her armpits. So, because, I know some guys say, I wouldn't mind going back there to the stage. No, you don't want to go back there, dude. I mean, this is what somebody told me, because, hey, I know you go back there, you see the girls they're getting oiled up and shiny, but then you get that smell. You say, what's that?
Oh, yeah, it's a funk. That tanning stuff don't smell good, and you got that BO going on. Yeah, it's no fun.
And that tanning stuff is cold because they spray you, because sometimes you can put your own on, but they have that spray, and I heard that spray is cold.
Yeah, well, sometimes they actually started creating one where as they spray it out, it's supposed to warm it up. So the last show I did, it was actually kind of warm. So it wasn't as bad. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like get in the hot tub, like
yeah. Yeah, oh, okay, this isn't bad. Normally it's like, oh my God, just hurry up and get it on.
Yeah, and I know, like it just when you're getting oiled up, it's just a lot of work into this. It's not like I said, it's not as simple as everybody think it is. Like I said again, it was easy. Everybody else would do it. We got a man here, Rolando G's, dropping this. He says, "Kylie, Young Guns, you are so 100% correct. The sport needs to give back. I have to write, maybe convince them you should $25,000 checks, in my opinion, for female competitors." I think, all competitors should, at least, I would say like this. I would say a little something to ease off the pocket, something. I mean, it's as simple as just like I say, okay, you can, we can say, okay, well, whoever wins in their overall, or you get your entry fee back, and also you get, like, they give you sometimes they give you a little package with stuff like that, more than just a power bar. Maybe, hey, come on, give me a gift card to McDonald's, or and
can't you see I'm hungry?
Yeah, I remember one lady said one time she was doing a show where the lady was going to do this thing. He said, like, they suggested, hey, why not have us like a little, like a meet and greet where you have like a have a food and have this and that, and they only had backstage was cookies. I mean, sometimes the cookie's good, but sometimes you want like a piece of steak or something like that. When your last show, what did you crave when you get off stage? What did you want to eat? What was that thing that was calling your name?
A big old plate of cheesy nachos.
Ooh, with nacho cheese with chili and just
Ooh,
onions and
mm,
olives and all that.
everything, all of it,
Guacamole.
all of it.
Yeah,
Double it up, all of it.
your mouth was like, oh, you're like,
I got that, and then I think my husband, he got like a, what was it? Oh, I had also gotten a what is it called? It's like the rye bread, the patty, the cheese, and it has like Thousand Island on it, and they grill it. It's like a hot sandwich.
I don't know. That's something. I'm from South. We have things
Oh,
different
there's
down
a
here.
white
Man.
people thing.
Yes, it is. Y'all white people, y'all put no seasoning on your food.
I can't remember what it's called, but I had gotten that. My husband got like a burger and like carrot cake. I think I chowed down all mine, some of his, the carrot cake. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you're like, say, honey, I like my food. Get away from me. All right, honey, I just, but it's just as tough. But like I said, but one aspect, a lot of ladies they do is, I know you wouldn't do it yourself, and and some ladies they do certain sites. It's like her biceps cam. That's a very popular site where you do live interview, stuff sessions with ladies. Also, there's OnlyFans. It's the fetish end of the sport where even that on the fetish end, the guys still make more money than women. I know a lady a while back reached out to me and said she was thinking about doing a foot fetish. Said, you sure you want to do that? I said, yeah, because it's getting very popular. But it's not something that everybody does because but it is a way to make income because sometimes you can have I know some ladies who have real jobs. I did an interview with Sherry Priami. She's a dental hygienist. I got a friend, Tina, she works at a bar. A couple ladies work in the business world. But many of these ladies, they do that as a way to, bring a little income in between competitions, and even if they do have a job, is this something have you ever thought about, or anybody who's done it?
No, surprisingly I do get a lot of DMs of people asking for pictures of my feet, and I'm like, oh, that's no, buddy. Like, see you later. Even though it's just the feet, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the fact that you didn't even say like, hey, what's up? It's like, hey, let me get a picture of your feet. And I'm like, deuces.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like when you talk about sponsors, good that you have family friends help you out. But there's guys out there said, Kylie, you're a cute little girl. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having some pictures of your feet, your toes. No, stop it. Do like this, and like I said, social media stuff indiscretion. Be genuine and sincere about your interest. Say, Mrs. Heffernan, I want to help you out. I want to see you grow as an athlete. If you need something from me, let me know. I want to support you. And that's the thing is that it's good to find people that it's good that you have family friends that help you out like this. And especially going with your husband. I hope he's doing all right. He's doing all right now. It can be tough, Like I said again, I took care of my mom for a long time, and it can be tough. And then working out and prepping, and it's a lot. It's a lot on your plate.
Yeah, it gets very stressful at times. Yes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, young lady, I would tell you this. I would give you. I treat you like you're about the same age as one of my nieces, and I say, I give you a big hug and tell you, sweetheart, it'll be all right.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah. Well, we're not gonna hold much too longer because it's past the bedtime here. Old man like me, we don't stay up much like we used to. I couldn't, like I said, like I used to have like a bunch of jobs. Like my first job, I used to work at a gas station, and then I used to work in textile for 13 years, and I used to work late at night. I used to work in a strip club. So, and now I'm getting old. I can't. It's just these eyes are getting heavy. It's heavy, but I know you're out there over there on the left coast. It's already still sunny out there, and it's a pleasure talking to you because I saw your pictures with Danielle. I said, you know what, I want to talk to this girl. Because what got me into this? Because I got into this because it gave me a purpose. Because, like I said, when I take care of my mom, I need something to help with my mind because it was, like I said, a lot of stress dealing with her. And I said, you know what? I'm a fan of women bodybuilding. I'm gonna talk about these ladies, do content, reach out, do interviews. I didn't start doing interviews after she passed away, and and talk to these ladies, garnering friendships with you. Some of y'all teach me stuff that most people don't know about the sport. Like if one of my favorite actors growing up was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger? Arnold. Yeah, I'll be got the Terminator. It's not a tumor. And his show was the biggest show around. But stuff I hear about him, how he pushed out women's bodybuilding from his show. He pushed out physique, your division, your old division figure, even pushing out 212. It's just I learned some stuff from the ladies I've talked to. And it kind of breaks my heart about Arnold. I see, I know he's, and it's just, I really get a lesson. That's why I enjoy having these conversations with you and on the ladies, and that's why I like to share your stories, because you meet, like I said, I just did an interview with Sherry Piami. People guys were excited about, okay, Sherry Piami, yeah, I like Sherry. He's pretty cool. But I did an interview with another lady by Angela Nori. She's like what I call someone who has the boots on the ground, 10 toes down. And you're a competitor who's on the rise. I mean, you have a good future. You have a great look to you. You have a great, from the picture I saw, hey, you got a great feature. You got a great body too, I'll tell you, if I tell you you have a great body, hold it against me. and and it's just about the process of this sport. And so again, it's about the work you put in, the time you put in. If I could do more, I would love to do more. But like I said, I have this platform, and I love to give ladies like yourself opportunity to share your story and to, and let people know that, if you have a passion for a sport, if you have the will and drive for it, you can get into it. But you have to understand sacrifices got to make, the time, the money, and also sometimes you lose friends, because I know one lady told me that, because she was a bodybuilder for like almost 30 years. She lost friends because she couldn't go out here with them. She couldn't go drink with them. She just couldn't do what they do because, like I said, I got to prep for a show. I got to diet. I got this. I got that. And it's just, unbelievable. It's just a lot of it.
Yeah, I will say for females, the biggest thing to look out for is make sure your coach knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, because one thing you just can't. What works for a man doesn't work for a woman. Because one thing that this is how I could say like this: men and women, we're the same race but different species. And I do content on MMA. How I do content also on mixed martial arts. How I say like this: what works for a man doesn't work for a woman. Because women, you have a high BMI weight, you can make babies. We can't. Man, we can lose weight a lot faster than women. I mean, I've seen talk about how UFC fighters have sometimes women have weight issues because sometimes you menstruate. Sometimes even if you plan your diet and everything like that, you're always going to be something that comes up because women's body and chemistry is different from a man's, and what works for this guy will not work for her. You have to set it to exactly to that person, and everything else that's evolved with their DNA or their chemistry.
Right.
Well, we got one more thing from a man, Rolando G. He says, when I win the lottery, I will be donating to you ladies and to the sport more sincerely. Yeah, that's what we need. We need more people to step up because, there's so few shows. Like for your division, physique, is still a little more shows than women's bodybuilding. I know some ladies don't want to compete because I know I've seen some shows where they only have maybe 2 or 3 female bodybuilders. They have all the other division. I say like this: if you're a competitor, you willing to want to get to the next level, here like this, learn all the poses of women's bodybuilding, and just okay, I'm gonna jump over here and do a women's bodybuilding show. I might get my pro card, or I might qualify for nationals. Take an opportunity. Don't use the excuse that I won't feel feminine. I won't feel like a woman. I won't feel beautiful anymore. But the vision you're in, you're still going to look like a certain level where you're going to have muscle development. You're going to have those thigh ratios. You're going to have those muscle bellies. Don't use that excuse. You get an opportunity. You see it. You say, I'm going to jump over there. I'm going to do that. But don't be afraid. Take an opportunity to do it.
That's right. Yeah.
So anyway, I do appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing. You have anybody to shout out to while you're here before we let you go?
I want to shout out to my husband for number one, South Bay Strength Co. They've been one of the best and funnest gyms I've ever been to. Huge supporter of what I do. My coaches, obviously, they're over at the Performance Posing website. Super cool. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. You have your support. You got shout out to your husband, Mike. I hope he feels better. It's tough. I mean, like I said, I saw my mom go through it. I saw my sister go through it. It's tough. The stroke is an awful thing to happen, especially for such a young man. It's those things that. But I think with you and your family and support, I think he'll recover. I honestly do. I think God, like I said, God don't do nothing to you. I remember when my brother died, and somebody told me, God don't put no more on you than you dare. My big brother James, he was like the rock in our family. I mean, like I said, my parents were together 50 years, but my father was 30, was living in New Jersey, while we still down here in North Carolina. And he was like my mom's right hand man. And we lost him. My position changed because I had to step up. I was my mother had 7 children, and my oldest brother died at childbirth. And then I have 3 sisters. There's me. My father has a son, and also he has a daughter outside the marriage. But I have my older brother and my younger brother. I'm the middle, and I feel like my position changed when he died. I had to step up because he was the one who's my mom's right hand man, and it's good that you have your family and your support, and you have people like Danielle and your coach and your team and your gym helping you. We want to see a young lady like you grow, because it's what's keeping bodybuilding going. It's not just also the older competitors coming to the sport, but it's the young competitors like people like Michaela Aycock, people like Lavinia Rodriguez, a bunch of young generations coming to the sport. It's keeping it live, because you know what? There was one point was that many competitors, but women like yourself who fall into sport because you wanted something to do and you found a passion for it. This is what keeps bodybuilding going.
Yeah, getting the youngins in, keeping it going.
Yeah. But like I said, many also some of the most other competitors. I've talked to ladies I know one lady, she's a grandma, she's about 60 years old. She's great friend of mine. She competed for a good long time. It's just like I said, just if you have a passion, your age shouldn't matter, but as long as you have a passion for something, as long as you like to do it, and you should do it. Well, like folks, I like to appreciate y'all for coming through and listening to us talk a little bit here. I know it's past some people's bedtime, so I like to thank my man Orlando G, my sister Quay for coming through. Anybody who missed the video, watch it. Comment, like, subscribe. We can use support for women bodybuilding. And like this, if you're out there, if you're someone who's sincerely interested in supporting, be it a man or woman in the sport of bodybuilding, reach out and be genuine by support. Don't be that weird guy where it goes like, you want this for something, but just be someone who wants to see an athlete and grow. Like I said, this. And also, guys, I'm gonna tell you one more time. And I know you're not gonna listen to me because but I just need to say it to you. No D-pics. Stop it. Get some help. I know he sees ladies on the stage and they're shredded and they're popping and and the lights shining off their skin and it gets a little tickle in your pickle, but no, stop it. Think about what you're doing. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Just be genuine and just show these ladies support, show respect. Tell these ladies, hey, you have a great physique, you have a great body. That's something that might even make their day. They can push that weight a little bit more when they say, this guy told me I got a great body, I can go a little more.
Or tell them they look small.
Yeah, look small. Then you be about fight. But like I said, Kylie, I like to appreciate you for your time. Thank you. I wish you all the best, and I hope, like I said, Mike does well. Like I said again, it's tough, but you know what? You're a strong young woman. You've been through hell and back, and you're still standing. Like my man Rocky Balboa said best: it's not matter how hard you get hit; it's about how you can take the hits and keep moving forward. And also the quote, my man KLA, he'll pick on me, who was here. The quote, one of my favorite movies is Batman Begins. At the end, when Thomas Wayne says Bruce, why do we fall? Because we learn to pick ourselves up.
Very true.
Yeah, very true. But anyway, folks, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Like, comment, subscribe, support the sport of bodybuilding, support these ladies. Thank you for supporting my channel. Like I said, thank you, my sister Quaker coming through. Thank you, my man Rolando G for coming through. Thank you, everybody who watched and commented. Like I said, follow Kylie, her social media in the description. If you genuinely want to support a young up-and-coming competitor in the sport of bodybuilding, reach out, be sincere, be supportive. Don't be that weird guy. Don't be that weird guy. Okay? Anyway, this is me always George Page, aka the Emperor of Always Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a good evening. I'm going to bed.